We will pay homage to the Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. So yesterday we have already talked about the quality of Dhamma, the first stanza. So today we have to continue the second stanza about Dhamma jewel or the jewel of Dhamma. Yam Buddha Sitto Brivanayi Suchi Samadhi Manandari Kanya Mahu Samadhi Na Dena Samo Navichati Idambi Dhamiratanam Banidam Idena Satyana Suti Hodu. The Supreme Buddha is told the path of purity, the Noble Eightfold Path, calling it the path which unfailingly brings concentration. That is not comparable to this concentration. This precious jewel is the Dhamma. By this aspiration of the truth, may there be happiness. So here the Supreme Buddha is through the path of purity, Noble Eightfold Path. We have said that one. Now, what does it mean, Supreme Buddha? Okay, we may have many different types of Buddha. Before appearance of the Buddha, there are many non-Buddhist ascetics. They also declared that they were a Buddha. So, if Buddha does not appear, then there are also Pachika Buddha. Although their knowledge is not so powerful like Sabanyu Buddha, but their parami is also strong compared to ordinary people, compared to ordinary arhats. So Pachika Buddha also, small Buddha or Lhasa Buddha, they also called Buddha. At the time of the Buddha, there are also many arhats. They can follow Buddha footsteps. Then, although they're gonna fully follow Buddha footsteps, they can also practice as the Buddha instructed. Guided by the Buddha, they could also attain arhatship, as the Buddha had already attained. They are also called Anu Buddha. So we have Pachika Buddha, we also have Anu Buddha. Another one is we also call Sutta Buddha. Sutta Buddha means those who can learn Tipitaka very well, who can memorize Tipitaka or who can learn Tipitaka thoroughly. They are also called Sutta Buddha. But now, the Ratanasutta is delivered by Sabanyu Buddha. We also call in Bali Buddha Buddha. Repeating 2 times, right? The Pachika Buddha, Pachika and Buddha. Anu Buddha, Anu and Buddha. Also, another Sutta Buddha, right? 2 Bali one. Now here, the Buddha Buddha. So this one is extolled or praised by the Buddha. That's why here we just use the Pali word Yam Buddha Sitto Brivanayi Sujin. Buddha Sitto. Sitto means supreme. We can also say praiseworthy. Brivanayi, this is actually extol. After that, we have the Pali word Sujin. I have it written down in the slides. So Sujin means pure. We can also say purity. We can also say purifications. But here, this is pure Dhamma. We call it Noble Eightfold Path. So actually the Noble Eightfold Path is really pure, but we can totally free from defilements by practicing the Noble Eightfold Path. The defilements are totally eradicated by the power of the noble Dhamma, especially the noble concentration. Okay, here we have to understand totally eradicated by the power of noble Dhamma. For example, we can also eradicate, or we can also overcome the defilements by substitution. If we substitute wholesome thought for unwholesome thoughts, we can also overcome it. But not only that, by the concentration, by the power of just jhana concentration, we can also overcome the hindrances. It will be different. Although we can overcome, or we can remove, or we can oppress the defilements by the power of jhanas, it can rise anytime. When we cannot enter jhana, if we don't practice very long time, it can reappear anytime, anywhere. But after attaining noble foods, especially Hatha and fruition knowledge, it will eradicate all types of defilements without remainder, which means it cannot arise anymore. That's when that concentration is pure compared to other concentration. Then we also have like a normal concentration, focus on the breathing. If we can focus very well, sure, we can also overcome defilements. But if we cannot focus well, it can arise anytime. It's just normal concentration. So I have explained when we attain jhana, we can also overcome hindrances and defilements. When we cannot enter, it can arise again. But it will be different from path and fruition concentration. So that's why it's mentioned, Yambhoda Siddhapariyona is Suchin Samadhi. Samadhi means concentration, right? Manandari Kanya Mahu, Anandari Ka Anya Ahu. Anandarika, immediately, unfailingly, definitely. So that means it will give its results immediately, without failing. Or it will definitely give its results. For example, if we are going to do some other wholesome karma, for example, if we do dana, of course, if we can feel happy at the moment of dana, this is also good results. Okay, there can be also presently affected karma, but there will be the benefit or the result of wholesome karma in the future, maybe next life. At least we have to wait a moment. Also, we have to wait maybe a few hours, maybe a few days or a few years, sometimes maybe 1 or 2 more life to get the result of our wholesome karma we have accumulated. But now, in the case of supplementing Dhamma, especially here, Noble Eightfold Path that arise together with path knowledge, it will arise, it will give its results immediately. So only one mind moment. No gap in between the 2 mind moments. So that means you have to be careful, right? If somebody say, I have attained Sotapaddi path knowledge, but I cannot attain fruition knowledge, that one is actually just cheating. After path knowledge, without any interruptions, fruition knowledge will arise. So that means, as we understand in the quality of Dhamma, you may remember the Pali word akaliko, timeless, without any interruptions, no entire time. This is akalika. So this is also called anandika. Then the Buddha also says, samadhi na tena na vajjati. There's no other concentration compared to that concentration. That was the strongest, the best, supreme concentration. It's taught by Supreme Buddha, not ordinary one. So sometimes we may praise ourselves, right? We will reveal our identity, our ability, our skill. Sometimes it can be truth, sometimes it can be untruth. But the Buddha will praise or extol only the truth one. Sometimes many other people will praise us, but it's not sure we are praiseworthy or not. So normally, when we like, we will praise. If we dislike, we may criticize or condemn. That's normal. But the Buddha knows what to be praised, what to be condemned. That's why when the Buddha praised, this is really praiseworthy. That's why we got Privanayi Suche. Privanayi means extol or praise. So that is this kind of concentration praised by the Buddha. It was not praised by ordinary people. Supreme one, the best one. For example, in the classroom, then your classmate praise you or your teacher praise you. Of course, when your teacher praise is stronger than your classmate. Then similar in the meditation hall, your fellow Dhamma friends praise you and your meditation teacher praise you, or maybe the highest one, like a Arhat praise you, or the Buddha praise you. Of course, the Buddha praising is strongest. So now this one is praised by the Buddha, not ordinary people. So that is actually, as now we can say anandikanya mahu, that means fruition concentration. So the path concentration is followed by fruition concentration. That is the Dhamma. Yesterday, I have already talked about Dhamma, right? When we are going to talk about Dhamma, we have to understand 10 different things. The one is 4 path knowledges, 4 fruition knowledges, altogether 8, Nibbana 9, finally, Pariyati Dhamma, learning Dhamma, altogether 10. But in this stanza, it just mentioned path concentrations followed by fruition concentration. So the Buddha praised the Dhamma. In our previous stanza, Kayang Viraga Amatapanitam, I have already talked about the Dhamma. This is Nibbana Dhamma. This one is path and fruition. We can say, or supreme Dhamma. So here it doesn't mention Pariyati Dhamma. Okay, so this is the second part of the jewel of Dhamma. Then we can also understand another ways. Actually, by telling the truth, this is also Vajjisatya, right? By telling the truth, we determine to become something. Also here we just determine to be well and happy. Subhati Hodu, right? So we have that kind of determination by telling the truth, which is Satya. So this only, here we just mentioned the quality of Nibbana and the quality of path and fruition knowledge. But actually we can also do similar thing. For example, like we have 6 Dhamma's quality. Swakhato, were expounded Dhamma. Right? After that, Santiti Ko, presently affected karma. We can practically experience the one. So we can also use the quality of Dhamma as we have learned in Visuddhimagga. We can also do with this Satya. Then, as long as it is truth and powerful, it can affect. Okay, now, after that, we may have the quality of Sangha. Okay, the next stanza. Yebugala Atasadam Pasatha Chatari Yugani Hondi Chatari Idani Yugani Hondi Te Dakineya Sukadasa Savaka Edesu Dinani Mahapalani Idambi Sange Ratanam Panitam Idena Sachina Subati Hotu. The 8 persons is told by a virtuous man constitutes 4 pairs. They are the disciple of the Buddha and are worthy, not yet finished, are worthy of offerings. Gifts given to them yield rich result. This precious jewel is the Sangha. By these aspirations of the truth, may there be happiness. So here, Yebogala Atta Satam. Bogala person, Atami 8. Satan have 2 meanings. Satan also can be translated as 100. Satan also can translate as good or virtuous man. So, in the translation here, it mentioned 8 persons is told by virtuous man. Constitutes 4 pairs. It just mentioned 8 persons. So which means there are 4 Magata Bogala, Magata person, for example, Sodapati Maga, Sakaragami Maga, Nagami Maga, Radha Maga. These are called Magata. So only one mind moment. They are called Sodapati Magata. After that, they become Sodapati Palata. So similarly, Sakadagami Magata, in one mind moment. After that, there will be Sakadagami Palata. Anagami Magata, in one mind moment. After that, Anagami Palata. Hada Magata, in one mind moment. There will be Anagami Hada Palata. So altogether 8. We can say 4 pairs. Then Chatari Edani Yugani Hondi, this is called 4 pairs. Te Dakineya Sukadasa Savaka. Sukadasa is the Buddha's disciples. Dakineya means offering or giving gifts or offering gifts. It is Dinani Mahapalani. That means if we offer to them, it's great benefits. Okay, this one will be very long to explain. Anyway, I have to try. Okay, we can go to next move. Attasada, 108. Now I have to introduce what is called 108. So sometimes when we explain some formula from Buddha's teaching, it's a little bit messy and complicated. But here I make table later. Anyway, there are 3 types of Sotapanna. The first one is Eka VG. Oh, this is some spelling mistake. It should be BI. Okay, not VI. Sorry, this is spelling mistake, right? Type of error. Eka VG. Eka VG means the one who have only one more life. After that, they will attain hardship. So that means there are some Sotapanna. Their attachment to their life and attachment to existence is not so strong, a little weak. So this life they are Sotapanna, but the next life they can attain Sakadagami, Anagami, Arhat. That kind of Sotapanna is called Eka Viji. Then another is Kolam Gola. Kolam Gola means more than one life, less than 7 life, maybe 2 to 6. So they are definements not so strong, but also not so like a calm like Eka Viji also. So they cannot attain arhatship in this very life. They cannot attain arhatship in the second life. Maybe they may be able to enter, or they may be able to attain the third lives, or in the 4th or 5th or 6th life. This is called Golangola. The last one is Satta Katu Parama. Satta means 7, Katu means times, Parama means utmost. So utmost they were reborn 7 times. This is called Satta Katu Parama. Okay, now when we are going to talk about Satta Katu Parama, actually later we may have another stanza. We have to explain that again. So somebody is, they are negligent, maybe they may enjoy sensual pleasure. They may have like a divine pleasure. They may have like the pleasure of the king, or maybe human pleasure. So because of negligence, then they can be reborn 7 times. So this is the strongest defilements, we can say like that, the longest one. So altogether, we have 3 types of Sotapanna: Eka Viji, Kolangola, Satta Katu Parama. 3 types of Sotapanna. It depends on how strong their defilements. Also, we can also understand another way how negligent they are. Although they have already irrigated very major defilements, they may have some minor defilements. It can also cause negligence. For example, now Visakha, she had attained since she was 7 years old, but she got married. She has many children. Also Anathapindika, he has attained Sotapanna, but his daughter can attain Sakadagami. Because they love their family too much. Anathapindika, Visakha, both, they love their family too much. They have very strong attachment. In the case of Anathapindika, he also loved the Buddha too much, like a family member. So anyway, the main thing is when they have very strong attachments or very strong defilements, then it will cause negligence. But that kind of negligence cannot lead them to 4 full states. Also, it's not so strong enough to lead them to 4 full states. So this is called like a subsided defilements, or we can like some oppressed defilement, we can say like that. They have already subsided many of defilements. Then there are 3 types of Sakadagami. Then Kama sensual realms. There's also Sakadagami in material realms. Arupa, this Sakadagami in immaterial realms. So there are 3 types of Sakadagami. So Sakadagami cannot categorize like Sotapanna, right? Because only one time they will come to human realms. Sakadagami, second means only one time. Agami come. They will come only one time. That's why we translate once returner. So they will come to human realms only one time. That's why they are called Sakadagami. So they are categorized as Kama, Rupa, and Arupa. So where they were born. So then in the Kama realms, they can attain Sotapanna, as they can the Anagami, or Sakadagami. Then sure they can enter Nibbana. And Ruparam also, they can attain Sakadagami. They can also, right, attain arhatship. Arupa also the same. So there are 3 types of Sakadagami. Okay, Anagami, it will be a little bit more messy. The next one, Anagami. Na Agami, no returner. So there are 5 types of Anagami. Andara Parinibbāyi. Actually, we can find this kind of statement in many different texts. So who enter Parinibbāna before the middle of lifespan? Because that means they will attain arhatship. For example, in this body life, they are Anagami already, right? Then in the middle of lifespan, they attain Parinibbāna. They attain also arhatship, they can also enter Parinibbāna. This is called Andara Parinibbāyi. Upahaja Parinibbāyi. Who enters Parinibbāna after the middle of the lifespan? So this means before middle of lifespan, right? That means very young. He entered Parinibbāna. Then another one is in the middle of lifespan. Middle age, he passed away, or he entered Parinibbāna. He attained arhatship. That means he attained arhatship, entered Parinibbāna. That means. So it also depends on how strong their inside knowledge. So mostly these 2 come from their practice. When their inside knowledge becomes very strong and powerful, they can attain arhatship. They can also enter Parinibbāna anytime. It can be Kana Parinibbāna, it also can be Kilesa Parinibbāna, either one. Kana Parinibbāna means they pass away. Kilesa Parinibbāna means they just attain arhatship. There are no more defilements. This is called Kilesa Parinibbāna, the cessations of defilements. Then 3. Sasankara Parinibbāyi. Who enters Parinibbāna with the formation? Here, Sasankara means with formation. But that one is not very clear. That's why we have to use elaboration, the supreme efforts to attain the higher path and fruition. So that means they have to make supreme efforts. They have to struggle a lot. They have to try very hard to attain Nibbana. This is called Sasankara Parinibbāyi. So although they have attained Anagami, their inside knowledge is not so strong and powerful enough. They will have to try very hard to attain path and fruition knowledge. That's why this is called Sasankara Parinibbāyi. Here, formation just means efforts. Sa, we can say saha, that means together with. Then they have to struggle, or they have to try very hard to attain arhatship. 4. Asankara Parinibbāyi. Who enters Parinibbāna without formation? So this one also formation means only supreme efforts. So supreme effort means they have to make efforts, but not so strong as previous one. Although they just make normal efforts, they can easily attain arhatship. They can easily enter Parinibbāna. This is called Sasankara Parinibbāyi. So the third and the fourth come from effort. Actually, in our practice, especially in the meditation center or in meditation retreat, we can find many different experiences from many different people. There are some meditators, they can practice easily. There are some meditators, they try very hard, but cannot improve easily. Similarly, all that kind of, in the very beginning, we may understand, oh, only we have this kind of problem. We are just beginner. Now you can practically explain even anagami have this kind of problem. They will try very hard. Some of them anagami, they will try very hard to attain arhatship. Some of the anagami, maybe they may have just normal efforts and they can attain arhatship. It depends on their parami, also depends on their skill, also the maturity of their inside knowledge. Then there can be many other supporting causes of all these things. Then finally, number 5, Uttan Soto, who enter Brinibbana being born in Akanita. So there are many questions about anagami. If anagami cannot attain jhana, can they be reborn in the Brahma worlds, Sudavasa? Many times people ask me this kind of question. Now we have the answer for it. Although they cannot attain jhana when they are practicing vipassana, that means they are pure vipassana vehicle. They will attain anagami with pure vipassana vehicle without attaining any jhana. But in their near-death moments, by the power of their path and fruition knowledge, anagami power, they will attain jhana naturally. This is also called Mekha Sita jhana, produced by path knowledge. So, actually, when they attain that kind of jhana, so they can be reborn in the Sudavasa, pure abodes. We have 5 pure abodes, right? So, then here we talk about Akanita, right? This is the last one. There are 5. Akanita is the highest one. So they can enter Brinibbana being born in Akanita. We can say like that, right? Anyway, so this is called Uttan Soto. Then we have to multiply all the noble persons. Okay, move to the next one. Arhats. There are 2 types of arhats. Sukha Upasaka, pure Upasana. Also Samatha Yanika, Samatha vehicle. There are only 2 types of arhats. So this one is very common. Many of listeners may have listened to that kind of things because it's very common. We talk about pure upasana, samatha vehicle, pure upasana vehicle, samatha vehicle. We have many different usage like that. I think many of meditation teachers will explain that kind of things. So now when they attain arhatship also, there are some arhats, they are pure upasana. They haven't attained any jhana yet. Then there are some arhats, they also practice samatha. They are successful. They have already practiced samatha successfully. Then they can also practice vipassana successfully. They attain arhatship. Samatha yanika. Only 2 types. So briefly, you must remember there are 3 types of Sotapanna, 3 types of Sakadagami, 5 types of Anagami, 2 types of Arhats. Then we have to know how it becomes 108. Right? Jivukala Atha Satam, in the very beginning, in this stanza, it mentioned Atha Satam. Atami 8. Satam have 2 meanings. It can be virtuous man, it also can be 100. That's why we have to, in the translation, it mentioned only by virtuous man. It doesn't mention 108. But here I just introduce both, all right? 108. Okay, now we will multiply. Next page. Okay, so now, so that 3 Sotapanna, 3 Sakadagami, multiplying by 4 Patipada equal 24. So here I have to introduce 4 Patipada again. Actually, I have explained this one in Pitama talks. But it's too long, very long times ago. That's why I don't think people can remember this kind of topic now, right? So I have to review that one. 4 types of Patipada. Okay, and we'll start with difficult one, right? Dukkha Paripada, Danda Pinya. Dukkha Paripada means when they are practicing up to asset concentration, they encounter a lot of difficulty. Dukkha Paripada. So then Danda Pinya. After attaining asset concentration, also it takes very long time to attain jhana or to attain path and future knowledge, for example. This is called Danda Pinya. So this is called, this is the first one, very difficult one. Now then, Dukkha Paripada, Kripa Pinya. So up to the asset concentration, they can practice with difficulties, a lot of difficulties, called Dukkha Paripada. Kripa Pinya, when they attain jhana or path and future knowledge, they can attain very quickly because there's such attainment. Such attainment. So sluggish in practice, the practice with difficulty, such attainment. Because Dukkha Paripada, Kripa Pinya. We have another one. Sukha Paripada, Danda Pinya. When they practice up to asset concentration, they can practice easily. They can achieve easily. But after attaining asset concentration, it takes very long time to attain jhana or to attain path and future knowledge. This is called Sukha Paripada, Danda Pinya. The next one is Sukha Paripada, Kripa Pinya. This one is the strongest one. When they practice up to asset concentration, they can also practice easily without any difficulties. But when they attain asset concentration, also when they attain asset concentration or path and future knowledge, they can also attain easily, smoothly. This is called Sukha Paripada, Kripa Pinya. So in modern community, we're going to have this kind of practitioners. The first two will be more. That's why actually a few days ago, I have a talk to my Kapia, right? On the way. If somebody say, I'm okay. If they say their meditation is smooth and everything is fine, I'm a little bit scared of the meditators. You know, every improvement, there's a difficulty. Every improvement. Okay, there will be some meditator, you may have seen the lights. The first time you see the lights is the problem. Maybe it will appear and disappear. It will arise and disappear. Also, it's very attractive. Your mind will follow it. You may expect it. It's also the problem. So after seeing the light very long time also, there will be the problem. Sometimes we will use our eyes to see the lights. Then very, very strong irritations in the eyes. It can happen. Also difficulty. So every single stage, there's a difficulty. Okay, we should approach another way. In the school, every class you have difficulty. Similarly, in the meditation, every single improvement, there's a difficulty. Of course, sometimes we're going to know our difficulties. Right? So, okay, for example, like anapanasati, we have many impurity. If we don't know impurity, so we may think, oh, this is the good. If we know impurity, or this is impurity, we have to avoid. Right? Anyway, the main thing is we have 4 types of paripada, right? So 3 Sotapanna, 3 Sakadagami, multiplying by 4 types of paripada, then totally 24. Then we have 5 Anagami. So 5 Anagami multiplying by 5 Sudavasa, pure abodes. So here I just make 24, right? It should be 25. Why it become 24? There is no Udan Soda in Akanita. At the end, I mentioned, right? For the star. So that means the first 4 abodes, we can say 5 Anagami. But the last abode, no more Ratanasutta, only 4. That's why it will be 24. I will repeat one more time. It will be a bit messy, right? Okay. We have 5 Sutta. The first 4, we have 5 Anagami. Right? So for example, Sudasi, we have like a Avya Adaba, Sudasi, Akanita, we have 4 types of 4 Sutta, pure abodes. So in the first abodes, there are 5. 5 types of Anagami can be there. So they can interpret Nibbana there also. Also, in the second abodes, there are 5. Or 5 types of Anagami can be there. In the third also, there are 5 types of Anagami. In the fourth also, there are 5 types of Anagami. Altogether 20. But the last one is Akanita. So let me, Ratanasutta, it cannot go up anymore. This is the last one, right? No other existence. That's why the last one is no more Ratanasutta. So we have 5, right? The first 4 will be there. The last one cannot be, because after this is Akanita already. No more other existence. That's why only 4 types of Anagami, and the last existence, Akanita. Altogether 24. Then again, 2 arhats. Okay, now 24 plus 24, altogether 48, right? Then two types of arhats, altogether 50. These are called 50. Okay, another one is plus 4 Makata. So Sodapati Makata, Sodapati Palata, Sakarami Makata, Sakarami Palata, right? We have the one. Only Makata, 4 Makata. Plus 4 Makata, altogether 54. Then we have 2 different types, Satta and Panya. So that means there are some arahats or some noble person. The Satta is predominant. There are some noble person. Their Panya is predominant. It can be, right? We can say like a Satta Vimoda, Panya Vimoda, we can say like that, right? So multiplying by these 2, altogether 108. So 54 multiplying by 2, altogether 108. These are called Atasata. So this is called noble persons. So how many types of noble persons in Buddha teaching, in Buddhist traditions? We can say 108. It depends on their practice, the place where they are born, how they attained. Right? It depends on their practice and many different things. There will be 108 different types of noble persons. So, in this stanza, we have already mentioned Ye Bugala, Atasatang, Basata, Chattari Yugani, Edesu Denani Mapalani. So when we offer to this kind of noble persons, it will bring great results or great fruits. Mahapala, Mahami, great. Palami, fruits or results. So why is it so? So we have many different types of receiver. Similarly, we also have many different types of donors. Sometimes receivers are pure, but donor is not pure. But somehow it's also beneficial because one side is pure. Sometimes the donor is pure, receiver is impure. Some is good enough. One side is pure. Sometimes both of donors and receivers are pure. That is the best in our daily life. then if both of them are impure, then that kind of donation is not that much powerful. You cannot say very strong parami. Many times I remind donors. Sometimes it's a dana, not dana parami. We must be wise. If we are wise, it can be dana parami. So again here, when we offer to these noble persons, it can bring very great result or very great benefits. This is the call. It is a Mahapalani. So here we just say Itambi Sangha Ratanam. This is a the jewel of Sangha. What about layperson? Okay, here we have many different types of Sangha, right? When we talk about Sangha, that means any types of groupings also can be considered as Sangha. Grouping. But majority of arahats are right? Bhikkhus. If layperson only one day, right? Pass away. That is the nature. That's why if we talk about Sangha, it cover all. If we just talk about layperson, it cannot cover. Anyway, the main thing is Buddha mentioned all these types of noble persons. They are also called jewel of Sangha. So since this one is the first part of Sangha qualities, I also have to introduce many other qualities. Actually here, in the Sangha quality, we can also find Dekhineyo mentioned in Sangha quality, right? That means worthy of offering. Why the Buddha just say only noble person? Why Buddha didn't say anything about ordinary bhikkhus, ordinary Sangha? Ordinary Sanghas are not very stable, like noble people, right? Okay, now here Dakshina we mentioned worthy of offering, right? Okay, ordinary bhikkhus are unstable. That means their mindset always changing. Then their morality will be a little bit weaker than noble persons. The morality, the concentration, the wisdom of noble persons are stronger than ordinary people. Also, they may have revealed knowledge. Their revealed knowledge is also stronger than ordinary bhikkhus. That's why they are dakshina, worthy of offering. So believing in karma is a result. One can offer anything without expecting anything in return. This is the one thing, right? So that means when we offer, believing in karma is a result. So that means good actions will produce good results. When we have this kind of faith, that kind of belief, this is called karma ownership knowledge. Then with this kind of knowledge, this kind of belief, if we offer to these noble persons without expecting anything in return, sometimes we expect something, right, to get something from the receiver. If we expect something, this is not dana, this is investment. Dana must be free without expecting anything. If we expect something, this is investment, right? So like a businessman. So that's why, so I have already said, right? We must be wise. If we are unwise, it's not dana parami, just dana. Just sharing. To become dana parami, we must be wise. We must have karma ownership knowledge. Then, okay, we have already talked about the stanza. Okay, also this stanza indicates the quality of noble Sangha who attains path and fruition. So it covers all the 108 types of noble persons in this stanza. Okay, now we also have many other Sanghas quality. For example, Sopatipano, Sumi, well, Patipanami practice. So they have practice very well, that means they have already attained part of fruition of it. This is the Noble Sangha. Noble Sangha will practice the morality training diligently. They will practice very well. So they will not break any of precepts knowingly. Later, we may have many other quality of Sangha again. There it will mention again. Also, concentration. So when they attain concentration, this also confirmed. So as a normal meditator, you may have experience sometimes good, sometimes bad. Right? In meditation retreat, many people report that kind of things. In the morning, I'm very good. In the afternoon, I don't think I'm better. Sometimes it gets worse. That means we have many expectations, right? Our effort is also not very common. Sometimes like we cannot balance our concentrations and our efforts. That's why sometimes good, sometimes bad. For about noble person, their concentration is more powerful than ordinary meditators. Similarly, wisdom faculties, their wisdom will be stronger than ordinary people. That's why we can say they are supadipanna, practicing very well. Then they are practicing 3 trainings very well. Okay, you can also imagine all other Sangha's quality, as we have learned supadipanno, bhagavato, savaka, sangho, ujupadipanno, something like that. We have already learned by heart, or we have already learned in the daily chant. You may have learned anything about it in many different books. All these are also called Sangha quality. By using all these quality, also we can do determination. We can determine to become something. As we have mentioned, by telling this truth, may they be happy. We can also make this kind of determination, this kind of vision. This is also called Vajjisattva. So now, okay, now 10 minutes left, right? I think I cannot finish the next stanza. Okay, short, it will be too much. I cannot finish this one, sure, right? So, okay, now as conclusion. Today we have already studied the quality of Sangha. Now we have 2 different groups of Sangha. The first one is Noble Sangha. The first one is ordinary Sangha. Now we have already known that Noble Sangha is superior. Ordinary Sangha is weaker. So after attaining noblehood, their morality is stronger. Their concentration is also stronger. Their wisdom is also stronger. For about morality, for example, Sotapanna, they will observe precepts naturally. For Anagami, they will observe 10 precepts naturally. But for ordinary people, to observe 5 precepts is really, really very difficult. Many times we may break precepts. Also for 10 precepts, it will get worse, more difficulty for ordinary people. Then for ordinary people, we have to determine, we have to train ourselves too much. For about noble people, they have less effort to train themselves. It will be different. It will be totally different. So to observe precepts, we have to use our mind power to prevent ourselves from wrong actions. To concentrate also, we have to use our mind power. Sometimes we unwisely use our mind power. Not only that, to have inside knowledge. We have to use our energy. For them, it's easier. So this, it will be different. That's why whenever we talk about Sangha's quality, we must understand it's a noble Sangha. It refers to noble Sangha. So, in memory of noble Sangha, we ordinary people also have to try. Okay, now for the information for the donors. We have already talked about benefit of offering, right? If ordinary bhikkhus, what kind of bhikkhu is it suitable for worthy of offering, right? So there are mentions in this one in the sutta, Chalangadana Sutta. One who has already eradicated lobha, greed, or the one who is trying to eradicate lobha, he is worthy of receiving gifts from the donors. Then the one who has already eradicated dosa, hatred, anger, worry, anxiety, or any unpleasant minds, or the one who is trying to overcome or eradicate dosa, he is worthy of gifts. Now, moha, it will be the same. The one who has already eradicated moha, delusion, illusion, or misunderstanding, or unclarity, uncertainty. So the one who has already eradicated moha, or the one who is trying to overcome or eradicate moha, is worthy of gift. So that means although we have to offer to ordinary bhikkhus, as long as they are trying to overcome or eradicate lobha, dosa, and moha, they are worthy. So this is the way we have to choose the receiver, especially when you are going to do some special dana for your Tibetan relatives or special gifts for some other memory. Whenever you recall, you must be able to rejoice. That's why we have to choose the receiver. Okay, anyway, so today we have already finished the Sangha's, the first part of Sangha's quality. Then to be noble, we have to train ourselves. When we can train the training of morality, concentration, and wisdom, we will become noble person. We will become more worthy of gift. Okay, may you all be able to practice the Buddha's teaching, and may you all be able to make end of suffering, nibbana. Okay?
The first question, dear Sayadaw, sometimes someone praises us, but we do not have that quality. Sometimes someone blames us, but we do not have that weakness or wrong. Could Sayadaw suggest how we should maintain our mind when such things happen so that we will not become proud, overwhelmed, or angry unnecessarily? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sure, good question, right? Actually, in Anguttara Nikaya, we have many sutta like that. If we don't have enough quality, so if we don't have that kind of quality, right? So we should not be proud of it. Then one more thing. Okay? What about mana, right? I remember what my teacher said. If you think you are higher, look up. There are many people better than you. Sometimes we have to consider, like we have to think, we have to reflect ourselves like that. If we think we are smart, sure, there are many people smarter than us. If we think we are wise, there are many people wiser than us. We can overcome that kind of problem. Another one is for about weakness or wrong things. Sometimes when we explain, right, it will get worse. We have to wait until the time ripens. So, okay, in the very beginning, sure, we may get angry. If we can review or recall, it's not my mistake or our mistakes, then sure we can satisfy ourselves. We can also control ourselves. So that kind of anger, right? We can say it depends on what kind of people praise or what kind of people criticize or blame us. For example, we have one Myanmar proverb. Although thousands of fools praise you, if one wise man complain, be careful. If thousands of people praise you, only one foolish blame, don't care. This is the way. Then otherwise the one who prays, right? Sometimes I also have this kind of problem. Many times they misunderstand, no? Sometimes, okay, practically, sometimes I have an interview, I just talk to them something about their mind state. Then they say, Pandit, can you read my mind? I don't have that kind of power, I don't have that kind of quality. No, I cannot. I cannot read your mind. I can guess. That's all, right? So I have to open like this. Otherwise, they will misunderstand. Oh, Pandit have psychic power. He can read other people's mind. It's very risky. So we have to see at the time. Okay, mostly in my case, I will open up. If somebody is like I said, I'm very high quality, I will say no. Not only that, when I give Dhamma talk about psychic power, you may know how actually in Visuddhimagga I have to review again. In the Visuddhimagga, there's psychic power, I have to explain all the psychic power systematically according to the text. Then, one foreigner, he thought I have attained all psychic power, No, I just know theoretically. I cannot attain all. It's in modern society, not that easy to attain psychic power, right? So sometimes, in public, if somebody praise or somebody say very high quality, you have to open up your identity. Otherwise, they will misunderstand you. They will separate news of you, right? This is the way. So the first one about brought. If we don't have, sure, open up. Just openly talk to the people. It will be easier for you. If you don't open, or if you don't openly, later you will have problem. They will spread many news. This is very, very bad. Another one is a complaint. In my case, if somebody complain, I just check who is that person. If, for example, like I will say openly. Few months ago, some complain about power doya. A group of people complain about power doya, and also many of people also worry. Teacher, what will you do? I know. Actually, I know earlier than that. I know. Then how will you do? What should I do? Right? They are not meditator. When they are writing, I cannot. They are not meditator. Right? No meditator complain meditator. It's so funny. I don't apply anything. Right? This is very, very easy. Why we have to care? Why we have to care that kind of people? So just neglect. Not because of hatred. It's useless. Although we're trying to explain them, not useful. Right? So that means, in this case, you have to check who praise you, who blame you. If those who have negativity blame you too much, don't think about it. They have already negative thoughts. Okay? So, of course, if somebody, they have mostly positive thinking, if they complain you, okay, you have to be careful. That's all. Right? The next one.
Thank you, Sadhu. Dear Sadhu, for Sotapanna, if he reborn to a new life, will he still remember his practice and his attainment in his new life? would he encounter the Buddha teachings? If he does not meet any suitable teacher in his new life, will he know how to regain his practice in that life and progress to higher fruition? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Actually, they will be reborn as a Sotapanna in new life. Maybe due to negligence, they may not remember their attainments. Also, that kind of thing also can happen, but they will be reborn as a Sotapanna. Of course, they can encounter Buddha's teaching. They will keep observing 5 precepts, right? Normally, naturally. So if they practice, they can also progress. They can also attain higher attainment. Okay?
Dear Sayadaw, would the Anagami in the Suddhavasa try to become human realms to teach Dharma? We heard some teacher mention that they learn from meditation, from Deva, Brahma. Is this possible? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Don't believe that kind of things, right? Suddhavasa, of course, they will not come to human realms, right? Well, maybe when the Buddha appears, they may come and see the Buddha. Right? They will come to human realms to see the Buddha. They may not come to human realms to teach Dhamma. This is something tricky, right? So that means if somebody says that kind of things, don't believe. The meditation has to cheat in you. Okay? The next one.
Okay. Thank you, Sayadaw. Dear Sayadaw, could I clarify with Sayadaw, other than Arahat, any lay person who is Sotapanna, Sakami, or Anagami is considered as Sangha? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, so when we talk about Sangha, actually, any kind of grouping is also called Sangha. We can say like that. Sangha means group. So mostly we translate as an order, something like that. Anyway, any grouping also can be called Sangha. Okay? For example, even non-Buddhist ascetics, such as like a Makani Kosala, they also call Sangha. They are also a grouping. Actually, when we study Jikanikaya, Senki, no, Gani, no, something like that, Senki, Sangha, E, that means they have Sangha. Okay? That means, okay, we can say they are also called Sangha, but we can say lay person Sangha, right? Not like a Bhikkhu Sangha. When we talk about Sangha, mostly we just know Bhikkhu Sangha. This is only Pali usage, okay? But Sangha is the usage of Pali is called, the Pali usage Sangha means grouping. It can be any grouping, okay?
Thank you, Sayadaw. Dear Sayadaw, please, Sayadaw advice. I am hearing from my friend, had one Sayadaw say, because Sally is not Sangha, she would Paripanna when attain Arahantship in 7 days. Is it true? Number 2, Sayadaw explain again who we say including Sangha mean. Sayadaw, thank you very much. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, this one is actually, the first question is very messy, right? Many times they have this kind of question. So, of course, at the time of Buddha, we cannot say Siali, right? This is later. We just formed a new edition of Bhikkhuni Sangha, right? Not Bhikkhuni, we just say the nun or Sialis. So that means we cannot say exactly whether he will pass away in 7 days or not, because in modern society, I have never known any Siali had attained arhatship, right? So we cannot say exactly. When it happened, we can understand it. So another one is who we say including Sangha, right? Okay, when we talk about Sangha, I have already mentioned Bhikkhu Sangha have 2. Noble Sangha and Samudhi Sangha. Okay? So this mostly, when we talk about Sangha's quality, it refers to these 2. But we also have already said before, it also can be, layperson also called Sangha. This is the Pali usage. We also use Sangha. Even non-Buddhist ascetics, they also use Sangha. Right? That means when we are going to do recollection of Sangha's quality, it must be noble Sangha, Bhikkhu Sangha. Okay. Next one.
Pandami Siado, the Buddha preached Abhidhamma in the Deva realm and why the Buddha did not preach this Dhamma to the in the human world. Is this because the Abhidhamma is not suitable according to the Indriya of human? This is the first part.
Okay, this is a bit amount, right?
We have to understand
a little bit differently, right? So for example, in the human realms, if the Buddha gives Dhamma talk, one vasa, continuously one vasa. 3 months, nobody can sit. 3 months, nobody can listen 3 months continuously. We must have food. We must clean our body. Many other things we have to do to take care of our body. This is the one thing, right? So another one, the Buddha also teaches Abhidhamma in human realms, the Venerable Buddha. At the same time, the Buddha just uses one of the Buddha's image there. Buddha image delivering Dhamma talk in the Deva realms. He came down for Bindapada and have lunch. After that, give Dhamma talk to Venerable Buddha. Briefly. In the Deva realms, it's a very long discourse, but in the human realms, very short. Just a brief introduction to Venerable Buddha. The Venerable Buddha also taught Abhidhamma to his students, 500 bhikkhus. So surely, Buddha also teach Abhidhamma in human realms to Venerable Buddha. We can also say it's unsuitable for human realms, right? It's also suitable for human realms because the five bhikkhus, they have learned Abhidhamma before, they can attain Arhataship easily. They also learn Abhidhamma from Venerable Buddha. They can also attain Arhataship easily. Okay? It doesn't mean Abhidhamma is unsuitable for human realms. Also, we can say Abhidhamma is also suitable for human beings. Okay, next one.
Second question. According to the Mahayana, sorry, just so the slide
Yes,
the slide just now, please. Only
okay.
first part of the question, Seattle has answered. According to the Northern Buddhism, means the Mahayana Buddhism, in one world system, there are many Buddha. But according to the Pali canons, is there any records of the other world? For example, Amitabha world.
Actually, when we talk about like Buddha's teaching, okay, we have to say infinite universe, No, what? We don't talk about what, we just use universe. Which is like, multiverse maybe, right? We just say infinite universe, In the infinite universe, only one Buddha. There will be no other Buddha in any other words. Right? So we cannot say there's another Buddha in another world. Two Buddha cannot arise in the universe. Okay? Then next one.
Third question. Before studying the Buddhism, he can hit the mosquito and flies. And at that time, he doesn't have intention to kill them. He just habitually hit and kill these insects. Would that consider panadibada?
Actually, we cannot say unintentionally. Right? Mental processes are very rapid. That's why you cannot know your intention. Okay, one more thing here. Akusala is akusala. Okay? If you have already destroyed other people's life, this is akusala already. The weak and the strong will be different. It depends on how strong you make your efforts, how strong your defilements. Also, in your question, it mentioned you don't have very strong defilements, we can say like that. Okay, so it's akusala but not very strong. We can say, we can understand like that. Okay. 4. Question 4.
Question 4. According to the Theravada teaching, there is this water droppings anumodana, dripping water anumodana. So water pouring anumodana. So in this case, this water pouring, what does that mean, and what is the meaning of water pouring?
Okay, this means we just make wooden nets. Right? So we just make this planet Earth as a wooden nets. After offering, you have my wooden nets, so I pour water to you. Right? We can say like that. Next one.
Dear Sayadaw, may
Yeah,
Sayadaw explain about the benefits of mudita,
请贤的解说
having
水洗
rejoiced
中
mind.
的
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
It's also not much different from the benefit of metta, right? Okay, the main thing here, having a rejoiced mind. Okay, okay, then metta means rejoiced mind, right? Okay, one more thing. Sometimes, we have a jealousy. At the time, we cannot feel happy. So mudita means when we see somebody is very smart, also when we see somebody is very happy, right? Then at the time we can have mudita. The mudita will take successful people as objects. So sometimes when we see somebody successful, then we feel discomfort, right? Or jealousy or something like that. That means we don't have mudita. So mudita comes from the calmness of the mind. We can also say like seeing other people's welfare, other people's achievements. So if we don't see any achievement of other people, we cannot have mudita. Right? So ideally, we must be able to find goodness of other people, achievement of other people, then there will be mudita. So, okay, the benefit of mudita is overcoming jealousy. It will be more obvious. It will be easier for you to understand, right? So jealousy is very, very bad, right? It can cause many problems. It can also make mind unstable. Also, a lot of suffering. Okay, next one.
Dear Sayadaw, Sayadaw say if we don't have some good quality, we admit openly. What if we have some good qualities? If we say it honestly without shaking mind, is it considered as pride? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Actually, when we have good quality also, we should not reveal too much. Okay, for example, I have finished my school, right? Whoever people I met, I will introduce myself. I'm Kovida. I'm meditation teacher in Pautoya. Right? I'm also Dharmacharya, I will review my quality. Whoever I see, whoever I introduce, then that means I'm imposing. So although we have good quality, we should not reveal too much. We don't know how they will feel. Sometimes, if they are not strong enough, they will feel inferior. So anyway, although we have good quality, we should not reveal. Honestly or without shaking mind, this is a little difficult to say. If we say without shaking mind, this is arhat. Only arhat have unshaken minds. For all other ordinary people, we have our minds are unstable. We cannot say without shaking minds. Okay, so sometimes we can say it's a proud or pride. We can also say it is a how to call this one, like a boasting, right? Sometimes also like how to call this one. If we read out that show off, right? Show off.
Show off. Yeah.
Show off. So that kind of thing is not very good for ordained people, especially for meditator. So also not that much necessary. Okay. Actually, we must know more about other people instead of revealing our identity too much. If we are interested in other people, we have good association. If we reveal our identity too much, without understanding other people's, without interested in other people's identity or qualifications, then we're going to have good communication. We're going to have good association. Okay, so I don't recommend to reveal all the good qualities. Okay, next one.
Okay, thank you, Sayadaw, for your advice. Dear Sayadaw, when we pay respect to the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, jewel, what is the good way to maintain our mind at that time? Could Sayadaw give us some suggestions? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. For example, in Myanmar, when I was a teenager, mostly when we bow down to the Buddha, we just say Buddham Bujemi, you know. In Pali, we just Buddham Bujemi, that we just bow down, the first bow. After that, Dhammam Bujemi, the second bow. The Sangham Bujemi, the third bow. This is the Myanmar traditional way. So in this case, I like Thai culture a little bit more. You know, in Thai culture, you know, they use like a in Sri Lanka culture also the same, I think. They may use like a, you know, they may also recite some Buddha's quality, or that they bow down, right? Although I don't remember their Pali formula. They had recite some Pali formula actually, using some Buddha's quality. For example, Araham, something like that, right? After that, they bow down the first time. Then they also use some Dhamma's quality, then they bow down second time. They also recite some Sangha quality and then bow down third time. So when we are paying respect to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha jewels, we should know Buddha's quality, Dhamma's quality, Sangha's quality. So for example, when we bow down to the Buddha, we can use any of Buddha's quality. Okay, now you may know about Buddha, for example. The one who knows Four Noble Truths and also instructs Four Noble Truths. We can say like that, right? Then understanding Buddha, we can bow down to the Buddha. Similarly, in the Sangha's quality, Dhamma's quality, you may know Akaliko, because we have already talked about it, timeless. Now we can also pay attention to that kind of quality and bow down. Sangha's quality, now here we have already mentioned Dakiniyo, worthy of receiving gifts. Then we can, understanding Sangha's quality, we can bow down, we can pay respect. Then I just recommend this way. If you can know Pali formula, or if you can understand the Pali chanting, it will be more beneficial. Right? I think this comes from Sri Lanka culture or Thai culture, I'm not sure. I also have listened some Thai Dhamma talk. Mostly in the very beginning, they also chant some Pali and bow down the Buddha, something like that. I also have listened some Sri Lanka talk, it will be the same. Okay, yeah? Any other thing?
Okay, thank you, Sayadaw. Dear Sayadaw, for general knowledge, may we ask how the Sali started in Theravada tradition? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Actually, it's a little bit difficult for me to explain that one because very long descendants. Okay, you may have known Bagan dynasty nearly 1,000 years ago. Maybe more than 1,000 years ago, I'm not sure. Okay, Bagan dynasty. Maybe more than 1,000 years ago, sure. Because it's an 11th century. Right? Now we have 21st century, right? So, okay, anyway, in the Bagan dynasty, we have already some tradition of Siali, but at the time we don't call Siali the different name. Before that, also we have some Mon dynasty around Mon states. We also have similar culture, similar traditions. We cannot know when it started. Though we have this history background of Siali, but in the very beginning they wear white clothes. Now you can practically see in Thailand or Sri Lanka they still wear white clothes. No? This is the first time when they started that tradition, they wear white clothes. Gradually they change the culture, especially in Myanmar, we change culture. then the recommended by different bhikkhus, they change the culture. After that, now we become CLA formula. All the traditions come. Okay, so I cannot know exactly, but according to Myanmar history, we have CLA. We had CLA at the time of Bagan dynasty, also at the time of Mon dynasty. Okay.
Thank you, Sadhu. Dear Sadhu, when practicing Anapanasati, if one experiences going into the line and being wrapped by the line, is this considered as absorption? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, so this is he just go into the wrap by the lights, but not that's the mind, not the body. This is the body. You just mentioned body, right? It must be the mind. So your mind must keep knowing the nimitta deeply. This is called absorption state. As you say, sure, this also can be wrapped by the light, but we must keep knowing the nimitta. Sometimes wrapped by the light, but we cannot know the nimitta. We cannot say absorption, right? The next one.
Thank you, Sadhu. Dear Sayadaw, on Uposatha Day, when I take 8 precepts, could I do my normal exercise by following the video, pure exercise video without music? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, as long as it doesn't look like dancing, is okay. All right?
Okay. Thank you, Sadhu. Dear Sadhu, who is the wise person? 2. What is the criteria of wise person in brief or in detail? Okay. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Then I should say in brief, right? So one more thing. When we trying to talk about good and bad, we have to understand how beneficial and how unbeneficial. We can also say another way, how beneficial and how harmful. Okay. So when we talk about white person or good person, at least we must know is it beneficial or not. What about our actions? What about our speech? What about our thoughts? If we know it's beneficial for ourselves, beneficial for other people, then this is a basis level of wise person. So if we do for the good of ourselves, for the good of other people, then we can say this is a good person. Another thing is abstinence. If we can abstain from doing something harmful to ourselves, something harmful to other people, we can say this is wise. So in the sense of wise, we have to know 2 different things. The first one is abstaining from harmful things. Another one is doing or performing helpful things or beneficial things. Basically, we can understand is a wise person. Okay? Next one.
Okay, thank you, Sadhu. Dear Sadhu, can mudita and gratitude mind handle blaming and complaining mind over everything and everyone? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, mudita and gratitude minds. Okay, this is a little bit different from blaming and is complaining, right? Sometimes, okay, when we have mudita, I always say mudita can overcome only jealousy. Okay, there can be many other benefits. The gratitude minds, okay, this is a good mind, but we cannot say it can handle blaming or complaining mind, right? So there are many different conditions, then there can be many different solutions. For example, you blame or complain because of hatred. Whether you have mudita or gratitude minds, you cannot overcome it. You must try to subside your dosa. If a lot of complaint or a lot of blaming because of lobha, the mudita or gratitude minds is not the way, right? Then you have to try to subside your lobha. Similarly, sometimes mana, it depends on different types of defilements. You know, there will be different types of blaming or complaining. Then you can solve differently according to the situation you have. So that means only one prescriptions can cure all the sickness is impossible, right? So that means one formula of medicine cannot heal all the sickness. Different sickness may have different symptoms, different causes, then we have different treatments. Okay?
Dear Sayadaw, after finish practicing all the 7 Visuddhi and 16 Vipassana Jnana, but still cannot attain Arya Magga, have not attained the Magga Phala, is it because he has not mastered the he has not had the associates power? That's why he does not have the associated wisdom. 是掌握的对应的能力。Oh, sorry. He has practiced all the 7 Visuddhi and 16 Jnana, but still have not attained Magga Phala. Is it because he has the ability but doesn't have the associated wisdom?
Actually, this is some misunderstanding. If you have already completed 7 purifications, you have attained path and fruition knowledge. So you just say, after attaining 6 purifications, if we cannot do anything, sure, you should understand that one. You can say like that. Similarly, if you talk about all the insight knowledges, you have attained noblehood. So if you are going to talk about an immature or something like that, it should not be all the insight knowledges, right? So all the insight knowledges cover up to path and fruition knowledge. So there will be minus something. Okay? Itawata ja amehi sambadam punya sambadam sabbe deva numodandu sabbe buddha numodandu sabbe satta numodandu sabba sambati siriya idame nyatinam hotu sukhita hondu nyatayo idame nyatinam hotu sukhita hondu nyatayo idame nyatinam hotu Sukhita hondu nyadayo idame bunyam sawakaya waham hodu idame bunyam nibanasa pachayo hodu mama bunya bhagam tabasatanam bhajemi esabe me samam bunya bhagam labandu sadhu sadhu sadhu